Well, for years it was home to the Costco off North Division, and it will soon be home to a home decor store. Today we have learned a popular restaurant is also planned for the property, and that has a lot of you excited.
Tonight will be the first of several cold days ahead of us. Just how low will the thermometer go, and if we'll see a little bit of snow along the way.
And the north-south freeway is still about 10 years out from being completed, but construction is about to enter a new phase, and it will be the most disruptive yet. So tonight we'll let you know about all the road closures we'll soon be dealing with. Well, we start tonight with a live look outside. It's been a mild winter so far, but the cold has arrived. This week we could see overnight lows in the single digits, and part of the area seeing a dusting of snow tonight. Good evening and thank you for joining us. I'm Mark Hanrahan. Whitney is off. Let's get straight to meteorologist Thomas Patrick in the Weather Center. And Thomas, these cold temperatures, they're going to stick around for a while.
Yeah, Mark, I know it's been such a nice mild winter, but this is the cold stretch that most of us have been dreading this upcoming winter, and it is finally here. It just took until February to get here. Wind chills at the current hour, 10 below in both Omak and near Lookout Pass, but it isn't that bad anywhere else across the region, but a couple single-digit feels-like temperatures right now. But get used to this, because this is going to be the theme for several days to come. The winds fueling that bite, that chill factor to the air. Wind gusts up to 51 miles per hour in Omak. It was 46 miles per hour earlier in Sandpoint. So a noticeably windy day. Probably won't be as bad in the days to come, but it will stay plenty cold. Only one area under a wind chill advisory, that's the Omak area. Winter storm warning from earlier today over the Tri-Cities. That probably going to expire early because not a whole lot of snow is still going to be left over tonight. I know we've seen a few flurries, just a light dusting or some drifting on the roads, but really it's just a trace if anything else. If anybody gets 1 inch of snow, I would be very surprised, but it is a light snow for this evening. But that cold weather is the main story. It is here to stay. I'll be talking about exactly how low the thermometers go and what day will be the coldest of our extended forecast. Those details in just a few minutes.
Sounds good, Thomas. Thank you. The north-south freeway, it is a project long in the works here in Spokane. So far, it has not caused much disruption, but that is all about to change. KREM 2's Casey Decker has the latest on the next phases of the project that could impact your commute.
Many Spokane residents may have gotten this flyer in the past week. It details a number of closures that'll be happening because of the North Spokane Corridor project. Now, one of them, a section of Wellesley here, being shut off for about 3 years.
The next phase of the project is rail realignment. The railroad that runs just east of Market Street will have to be moved to make space for the highway. Once it's out of the way, construction on the new road and interchanges will begin. Here's a bird's eye rendering of what the highway will look like next to Hilliard. But in order to make that happen, some road closures are required. The first closure will be at Euclid Avenue. Construction on that intersection is expected to begin soon and last until late spring. Then Euclid will open back up. But this summer, several other streets will shut down. Wellesley Avenue between Market and Freya Streets will be closed until 2022. For the next 3 years, drivers will be detoured north to Francis. WashDOT estimates that will add about 2.5 minutes of driving time. Though they looked at ways to keep Wellesley open during construction, project engineer Bob Helms says those options weren't feasible.
We decided full closure, get in, get out. And even the 3 years sounds like a long time, but it's essentially a sprint according to all the things that have to happen.
Farther south, 6 different east-west roads will be permanently closed near the highway site. Drivers who want to cross at these intersections will have to start using Euclid or Carlisle. All of these closures should allow the new highway to be usable as far south as Wellesley by 2022. Here are some renderings of what the corridor will look like from a few different viewpoints.
And as for when the north-south corridor will be totally complete, estimates are about 2028 or 2029, so still a little ways to go there. Reporting in Hilliard, Casey Decker, KREM 2 News.
The Pentagon is sending more active duty U.S. military to the southern border. This comes as President Donald Trump continues to threaten a national emergency to get funding for the border wall. 3,750 troops are headed to the U.S.-Mexico border. They will be installing wire barriers between ports of entry and providing support to customs and border protection. This as President Donald Trump advocates for more border security.
We're going to have a strong border, and the only way you have a strong border is you need a physical barrier, you need a wall.
A poll from CBS News shows a majority of Americans do not want the president to declare a national emergency to build the southern border wall. 66% of Americans said they are against it. Congress and the president are up against the February 15th deadline to reach a deal and avoid another partial government shutdown.
Would you shut down the government again?
Well, we're going to have to see what happens on February 15th. And
you're not taking it off the table?
Well, I don't take anything off the table. I don't like to take things off the table. It's that alternative. It's national emergency.
It is one of the most sensitive security challenges in America. The State of the Union address puts the president, his cabinet members, Congress, military leaders, top diplomats, and the Supreme Court justices all in the same place at the same time before the entire country. Protecting all those figures requires months of planning and coverage by multiple law enforcement agencies led by the Secret Service. Security for this speech was in the spotlight during the partial government shutdown when House Speaker Nancy Pelosi cited safety concerns as her reason for delaying President Donald Trump's speech. Well, today President Trump told the press he would make a decision on declaring a national emergency soon, and you can tune in here on KREM 2 News tomorrow night at 6 to see President Trump's address. Well, Gonzaga University reversed its decision to block students from inviting a controversial speaker to campus. The university president now says the College Republicans group has permission to invite Ben Shapiro to speak to students this spring. Shapiro is a conservative commentator who used to work at Breitbart. He speaks at universities across the country and is commonly met with protests. In November, the school said they feared the event would violate their standards. Today, though, University President Thane McCullough said in part, quote, "We are committed to facilitating exposure to a broad range of intellectual ideas and debate, even as we simultaneously strive to uphold the values reflected in our mission statement," unquote. Well, in other news, big plans are in place for the old Costco on North Division. New permits filed with the city of Spokane show Texas Roadhouse will be the second confirmed tenant at the property. The furniture store At Home announced it was taking over the building back in October. Site plans show the Texas-based restaurant will be built on the former Costco Fuel Center pad. We shared these photos on Facebook today, and that news has quite a lot of excitement from you today. Permits filed with the city show At Home will be 87,000 square feet. Then the remaining 47,000 square feet will be leased to other potential tenants. The latest drawings show a Planet Fitness, a storage facility, and trampoline park could be housed in the existing building, but those plans are not yet confirmed. Well, this summer, SkyFest will be returning to Fairchild Air Force Base. On June 22nd, the base will be open to the public and spectators can see the shows in the sky as well as interactive displays on the ground. All right, coming up tonight here on KREM 2, more and more states are legalizing marijuana for recreational and medicinal use. Now the market is expanding to pets. Companies are using CBD oil to make products for your dog.